welcome to Bonus Action Heroes Read RPG Reddit Stories. This episode, 2 of our Dungeon Masters discuss DM decisions that cause some drama. You can also listen in podcast format. Just search for Bonus Action Heroes wherever you get your podcasts. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. This one is particularly pertinent to yourself.
Is it by a very old D&D player?
Why do you feel defined by your age?
Because I'm just getting greyer and greyer. Look.
I'm old! I beg your pardon?
If we do release this in podcast format, if you want to see our beautiful faces, you can find us on Twitch and YouTube at Bonus Action Heroes.
Smooth.
You're welcome. Anyway, this story is for you. DM is upset at me for not listening to music during the campaign. Am I the asshole? This, again, with the usernames. This is from Puffpoof215 on RD&D.
Okay.
Don't start yet. Let me read.
No, I know. I literally, I have lived this multiple times. So yeah, I get it.
So, during our campaigns on Roll20, our DM puts a lot of effort into making the music. I do not like music in my games. Even when playing video games, I turn music down to 0. I just can't focus when music is playing. It takes me out of the game. I like things quiet in general. But today, my DM and some other members of our group told me that it upsets them that I do not listen to the music. That they put work into their sound design and I don't care to listen to it, which I thought about and now I kind of feel like a jerk for. They said it'd be the same thing as not looking at the maps or not listening to the dialogue. I told them I would think it over, but I don't know. On one hand, I just want to make them happy, but I know it will make it not as fun for me. Go on.
This is,
triggering.
No, not necessarily. I think I've been through a journey with this. So before I played D&D with all of you, I played D&D with a group of friends and my partner that we've known each other for 20 plus years. We've not played D&D for a long time, and we started up with playing Out of the Abyss. And I used to think about a scene or an area, and I remember creating. There was a map that I created in Foundry, and it had this beautiful map. It was all lit and animated. And I had written a narrative to describe the scene as it developed, and I had timed it to the music so that it built. So as the music built, the drama of the scene built. And I found out during my narrative, as I was building it up, that only 2 of the 4 players actually bothered to have the music on. They turned it off to the point where they didn't realize what I was doing, and some of them were talking over me, because they didn't realize they were not experiencing the moment. So at the time, it annoyed me because I was making a lot of effort. I was designing the scene. I was just thinking about sound. I was thinking about vision. I was thinking about the narrative, the acting, everything to try and make this scene bigger than the sum of its parts. That was frustrating to me, to find out that I was going to all that effort and it was wasted. But at the same time, we have it in our group where we have a lot of neurodiversity in our group. So for me, as a lover of movies and film and movie scores, I find music inspiring, and actually having it on whilst I'm role playing, or, Steve, our other GM, is a genius at just playing the right tune during an emotional scene. He just seems to know which one to put on that enhances it for me. But yet I know for other people in our group, that can be overwhelming and that can be distracting from what they're trying to do. Yeah, so Tom's saying he finds it harder to role play with music. So there you go. And I know that Hazel does. Hazel doesn't listen to the music, whereas
I didn't used
Jim
to,
and
because I did struggle to focus a bit, and I didn't know how much thought you were putting in. When I noticed it, I started to realize that it is an immersion tool and can be helpful, and it influenced me as a GM in the way I thought about music in your games and how that can improve the experience for you. Not all of you, but some of you, and the ones that the music isn't a helpful immersion tool, that's fine, they can turn it down.
I mean, if I was playing in person with you all, this is a uniquely online problem.
Yeah.
every game I've ever played in person has had music. You know, a friend of mine, Gavin, check out his books, Gavin G. Smith, excellent author, excellent GM as well. We played all sorts of RPGs, homebrew D&D, vampire, mage, werewolf. You know, we played. He ran so many, and he was great, and he was good at picking songs to the point that to this day I still hear the Last of the Mohicans soundtrack as the death song means someone's gonna die. Because it is hardwired into my brain. So if it was in person and I play music in the room, you're listening to it, aren't you? And you would instantly say, "Oh, can you turn it down? That's distracting." When you play online, you don't have that. You don't have that insight. So yeah, if I'd have known that no one was listening to it, you know, would I have just not bothered wasting my time?
Well, no, because I think it's clearly a tool for you as a GM as well. It's helping you write the story and get into narrating it, etc.
Exactly. So for me as a GM, it helps me, and I am going to do it anyway. But I accept that not everyone finds it a positive addition, and that is okay. So I think the GM and the other players need to let go and accept that the person that doesn't want the music is just different to them. They may well be overstimulated having to role play and the music at the same time. It is not the same as looking at the maps or listening to the dialogue, even though I have been in that place where I felt aggrieved that my effort was, because that's what it comes down to. The GM has put time in and thought in, and they feel like it's not being appreciated, but it's not. I don't think that's not where the players are coming from.
And Tom says, we don't have music playing in the background of our lives, so I think it distracts me from being introspective and takes me out of the moment a bit. There was another comment that I liked from Clueless Caterwall that said there's a big difference between I don't like music playing and I can't focus when there's music playing. You mentioned both here, but you lead with don't like. If you explained it to them in the same order, they may have focused on the don't like part to the point where they haven't taken in the can't focus part. And yeah, it's what you said. They're not appreciating that the effort has, or that's what they're hearing. You're not appreciating that the GM has made this effort. So their immediate reaction is not going to be a positive one.
Yeah, exactly. So no matter who your group is, you need to talk about these things. Say, I'm going to play music. They are going to be, you know, especially chosen for that scene. I'll be honest, I do not make as much effort as I used to with the music. I generate playlists now that should fit with a given mood, and I actually, in Foundry, I have them all listed as various moods. There might be like battle, aftermath, you know, sad moment, loss, joy, mystery, tension. You know, all these different playlists, and I just click one.
I 100% learned from that. I took key pieces of music from your playlists because we share a server, and that was really, that was a real learning moment for me. I sort of realized that I could use certain songs as a motif, like, so I built my playlists not around the mood but instead around the places. So when you are in one town, only a certain playlist will play, or when you're around Strahd, a certain playlist will play. And so subtly in the back of your mind, hopefully you're like, oh no.
Exactly. So you think about a movie, there will often be, for a bad guy, there will often be a tune. Each character will often have their own song. And even if you know, if you don't normally like music when you're playing, just maybe try it, but
give it a go.
Very low volume. Just turn it all the way down and just turn it up until you're like, no, that's annoying now, and just turn it down a little bit more. Just
in
give
the
it a
same
go.
way, the DM needs to be open to one player not listening. Same way, let them try it if they've not tried it before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just say, I'm really sorry. I love that you go to all this effort, but it stops me focusing, and I want to focus on your game because I want to be present. I love it. This is, you know, I'm here to have fun with my friends, and if the music's playing, I'm a little bit torn away. It's fine.
100%. I agree. It's the way you frame what could and has come across negatively. Doesn't have to. Shall we move on to the next story?
Yeah, what have you got? What have you got next?
My DM killed my favorite NPC and I'm not cool with it. Yeah.
Okay.
This is from OK Breakfast 1138 in our RPG Horror Stories. So, for context, my character is a half-elf fighter who was orphaned at a young age and has had a hard time making friends and maintaining relationships. My character's whole arc has been about breaking free of that and learning to love again. I've been really enjoying it, and my favourite thing is that my character has recently found his long-lost brother. Now to the story. In the campaign, our party has been tasked with taking out a gang full of some evil vampires, and they're all led by a special Dracula type guy who has been hyped up for about a year now.
Those special Dracula type guys. Whoa.
Strahd, is that you? My character killed his son. In the latest session, the party was chilling in our home when it was suddenly bombed from orbit and we all got separated. When my character came to his bearings, he and his brother started to go around town saving civilians before meeting up with the rest of the party. When we all got together, the BBG showed up and asked which character killed his son. I, of course, raised my hand and said something along the lines of, "Yeah, I did. And I'm gonna kill you too." We then rolled initiative and the BBEG went first, and it turns out the DM gave him a 9th level spell that one-shot my character's brother. No saves or anything, he just died and that was it, reduced to a pile of flesh cubes. I was really upset and I went all out on the bad guy. We of course lost the fight, but we managed to escape and live to fight another day. But of course my brother is dead. I'm really upset. I understand that it was done for character development and to show that the bad guy means business, but it just feels like the whole thing was unpreventable. My DM did say things like this would happen during session 0, but it's still upsetting. Am I upset for no reason, or do I have something to stand on here? Note, I talked to my DM and he apologised for making me feel bad, but he's sticking to his guns for the sake of the story and the rest of the party is backing him.
Ooh, that's a lot to unpackage, isn't it? For me, if that happened to my character, I would use that. I would see that as a great lever. You know, you think about all the classic tropes in films and books. Having a hook for your character is really key. But at the same time, I can appreciate that an NPC is very important to you. I think the GM doing it without any roles, without any opportunity to get out of it, is a bit mean. Maybe
it doesn't say that they didn't roll. I've not had to use power word kill, but shall we look it up? Shall we see how power word kill works?
Go for it. I think power word kill is ultimately if you're below a certain number of hit points,
then you immediately
and you fail the save, you are dead.
So they just didn't have that many hit points, assumably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
under 100 hit points.
Now, story-wise, I'm not going to lie.
There's no save.
There's no save. So story-wise, I mean, this is in these games. This is to kind of demonstrate that adventurers are a level above. They are something special. They are not the ordinary person, which I assume this brother character was. So I think it is unfortunate, but I don't know. It is the kind of thing I would probably do as a GM. No, you all have characters, NPCs that you love in Out of the Abyss, and I know you love them, but they are ordinary people on a miraculous journey with a bunch of very powerful adventurers. So they are more vulnerable. And I think in our game, you feel that quite often, in that sometimes in the fights, you're quite safe, but you're not concerned about yourselves. You're concerned about your friends who you know are not as strong as you. And as you level up, they stay still, basically. So I don't know. You have a right to be upset. If you're upset, you're upset. But these are fantasy games, so there's opportunities to do something about it. You might want to seek out a means to bring your brother back. You might want to find a god that will revive them, resurrect them, all of that good stuff. So I guess what I'm saying is use it for your character, use it for the role play. It clearly motivated that character to kill this vampire. He is not going to let that vampire live now. It's going to follow that vampire to the end of the earth until they are gone.
You've pretty much touched on everything I was going to touch on.
And I'm also here.
In Out of the Abyss, it's a campaign where we're 100% trying to get Stool Derendil, Eldif, the NPC's home. And when Eldif died, it was really upsetting. And I think I had a conversation with you then about, like, also, this goes back to the first question and just know your players. I have borderline personality disorder. My reactions are very intense. I was very upset, but I know that's what I'm doing and that I need just time to process that and to come back to the fact afterwards that it is a game. And yes, we talked about the fact they were going to die. The fact that I was that emotional, if anything, like you said, is developing the story, developing that character.
You know, in our game, your group were like, right, we're getting on the ship and we are going back to the last city we were in, and we're going to see if they can bring her back. So again, it changed the direction of the story. Death is not permanent in D&D.
Can I just read this comment from, and
Please.
I love this username, Hedgiest Hog. Let me reframe this for you. Your DM wrote a story you were so invested in that you were upset at the death of a fictional character. Together you crafted a narrative where you feel grief at the death of a fictional character, staying well within the rules as written and the spirit of the game. Your DM did good. Take a breather, talk to your DM about what arc this is likely to spawn, e.g. obsessively driven revenge. Your character is feeling powerless in the narrative, and that's what the BBEG wanted. But as a player, you have agency in where the narrative goes.
Exactly, and also flip the story. That comment is spot on. Flip the story. You're the vampire. Someone kills your son. You'd be upset too.
And I have an update.
Oh.
Reading the responses here and having some time to cool off, I realise that I'm simply overreacting and will divert that energy into the game. I appreciate the responses.
Again, you know, if you react, you react. It's easy to say
your feelings are valid.
Your feelings are valid. You can't help
That's
how
what
you
you're
feel.
feeling at the time.
Yeah, and I think you did the right thing. Lean into it, use it. But don't be hard on yourself for having a reaction. As that brilliant comment said, it's a sign everyone's doing something right and you're all invested. Great story. Yeah, great.
I genuinely think we would have started doing Reddit stories a couple of months ago if I hadn't become addicted to Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, it is pretty addictive. I think I'm up to 230 hours now. I've completed it twice and I've got several playthroughs that I'm partway through. But I haven't played it since you finished your game.
We were gonna stream us playing Baldur's Gate. We're just doing some more little things that aren't just necessarily 4-hour long live play.
I'm not sure save scumming is as popular on Twitch.
Hey, I've had my playthrough, the playthrough where everything goes the way I want it to go. Now we can let chaos reign.
That's true. We'll just we'll go where the story takes us, as we would in tabletop.
Should we go play Baldur's Gate? Thanks for watching, and if you've enjoyed this, please don't forget to like and subscribe. You can also join the live chat on Twitch at Bonus Action Heroes. We regularly stream on Sundays, Mondays and Wednesdays at 7:30 PM GMT. If you want to suggest Reddit stories to cover, please leave a comment or join our Discord linked in the description. You can also check out our playthroughs of Icewind Dale, Out of the Abyss, Curse of Strahd and Vampire the Masquerade in the playlists in our channel.